Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate having you here. Hey, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you get a chance. I would love to have you here on a regular basis. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, every little like, or dislike the video if you want. To be honest, doesn't matter. Helps the channel either way, but a little interaction goes a long way. What do we have on the table? This is another Sativian. I am really enjoying this sort of budget-friendly brand. It's really filled the spot that Ganzo kind of left in my sort of budget knife collection. And this, I think, is the best one I have had, period. This is the ST-119. It is D2. Look at the blade on this knife. It is, would you look at it? Just look at it. I brought a little bees into your lives, thanks to Women Carry Knives. Just the blade shape alone on this, it is a high, flat grind with a little bit of swedge back here. It comes down to an absolute razor's edge, and the edge is perfect. Top to bottom, this is a really well done knife. It is a liner lock, as you can see, and we're locked up at about 30%, which is not bad. It does have that sort of ongoing Sativian sort of heavy liners and heavy scales thing going on, but it really makes for a fantastic handful of knife. I have carried this a bunch in the couple of weeks since I got it, and I really like it. It's got a G10 backspacer and G10 scales that are milled out to give you just plenty of grip, which is really nice. It's got a deep carry clip. Now, it does not have flush-mounted screws, but because of this groove in the G10, the screws are below this line, and so this thing slips in and out of the pocket better than any of the other Sativians I have. It's a relatively simple design. 2 screws in the back that hold on the backspacer that hold the knife together, and a nice pivot at the front. Now, I haven't taken this apart, so I can't tell you if this is a free spinning pivot or not, because I don't generally take these apart, because at $26, I've never had a pivot come loose on one of these, so I've never had reason to. You can Spidey flick it with this deployment hole right here, and I love the way this thing is shaped. Right, super low key. On the close, it's just a beautiful profile, isn't it? Flipper tab, of course, works every time, and it's got a little bit of jimping right here on the back of the blade. And surprisingly, because of the shape, I really like this sort of pistol grip shape in a knife. You guys have seen a bunch of my other knives that are like that. I really enjoy that. This is very much in that same vein. Because of the way it holds your hand, my thumb lands right on that jimping. Now, I've got sort of big hands, as you know, but I think the way this knife is shaped, it's relatively neutral beyond the curve. I think that this would suit almost anybody. Now, I've had 3 or 4 or 5 other Sativians. All of them cut really well, but this is by far the best straightforward pocket knife that they have made yet. It is comfortable, it is pokey enough to give somebody a little nudge if you needed to. As I said, that high flat grind and razor's edge means this thing goes through whatever media you're choosing to cut. It just goes through it like crazy. I've done cardboard, some seatbelt material, some paracord, that's the word I'm looking for. I've done some paracord, and I've cut some plastic with it, and not only have I not had any issues with the edge, but I haven't even needed to sharpen it. Really, and it's taken no damage. Like, you can't tell. For $26? Come on. Let's take a look. Get a look. Shall we get a look at what we're going to get? Good grief. It has been a long day. Let's take a look at what you get. So, you get 3 1/4 inches of cutting on 3 1/2 inches of Sativian's D2. The grip area from behind that flipper tab is 1, 2, 3 1/2. Now, my hand is a little bit bigger than that, right? It does hang off the end just a little bit because there's no bump here, there's no shape that forces you. It still fits my hand very well. And because of these grooves in the G10, your fingers just lock in. This is very comfortable. The knife from end to end comes in at 7 3/4. We are just shy of 8 inches, which is a good length for a pocket knife. And a closed length on this thing is 4 1/2. It is Sativian thick, and we do like them thick, but just the same. So it is over a 1/2 inch through the body this way. but with that shape of the handle, that's why it grips so well. This thing really is just a joy to use. Now, I do notice the clip on this one a little bit more than on some of the other ones, and you might too. But again, because of this groove, it is sort of settled down into the knife. I think it's the curve. It does force the clip into the sort of soft area right here. It's just something to be aware of. If you're going to do hours and hours of cutting, you might notice it. I haven't had a problem with it, but something to mention. The action is very good. I mean, really, really good. So here's the thing. I have lots of expensive knives. I really do. Stuff that costs $150 to $225 to $375 and beyond. That's fine. I love these. But it will never limit how much I love a really well done budget knife. Budget friendly, I know. I keep saying this, but somebody complained about the use of the phrase budget as though that somehow makes the knife less. So I've tried to move to budget friendly because there's nothing budget about this knife. What do I mean by that? Well, not that long ago in the knife world, $25 or $26 got you this. This piece of metal is a Smith & Wesson like you'd get at Big Five or a gas station. These cost about $20 or $25. Watch this. Yep, that's it. That's the extent of the flip. Hey, look, if this is what you carry, that's fine, but it isn't great. It isn't. Weighs a ton. It's kind of ugly. So for $25, to get action like that, with finishing details like this, with a blade that is this well done and this sharp, I will never not be happy about that. Oh, this thing is great. Let's do some size. We had some tools on the table, but let's do some size comparisons. Here's against PM2. This happens to be the PM2 in K390, or as I like to call it, my rusty Spyderco. As you can see, the ST-119 is a little smaller than that. Here it is against our friend, the PM Para 3, also a rusty. This is in Rex 45, right? So this thing fits beautifully in the middle of these two knives, right? The grip area is very similar to the PM2. And here it is against another sort of budget-friendly favorite. This is the Rat Model 1. You can see the Rat 1 is considerably larger than the ST-119. And we will finish up with our old friend, the Bug Out. Right? $100 and something. S30, S30V, I get that and everything. But D2, bearings, G10, steel liners. Look, this is just a great knife. Let's weigh it out. I find myself curious. Sativians are not notoriously lightweight, so I don't think this thing is going to be exactly a feather. That's really good. Well, let's find out together that it's not a feather. I amused myself. 4.3 ounces. Now, that's not bad. That's really not bad. Do I have another Sativian? Well, here's a Bestech of some sort laying about. See how much that weighs. 3.5. So it's a little heavier than the Bestech, but the Bestech's all milled out. I really like, as I've said a couple of times in this review, Sativian knives. But this is the first one that I think you should absolutely just run out and get. The ST-119 is sort of peak Sativian. It is inexpensive, yet exceptionally well made. It is attractive, comfortable. This is just a great knife. And that is where we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to say the name one more time just for posterity. This is the Sativian ST-119. I have been a Therapeutic Edge. Thank you so much for watching.
That's been Women Carry Knives.
That's been Women Carry Knives over there on the couch. I will post a link to the Amazon spot for this in the description. I hope you guys have enjoyed this look at it. Hope you're having a great week. We'll see you next time.